subscribe.
Hi everybody, welcome back. My name's Alison, the online piano and the online violin tutor. Today I'm going to talk to you about double stopping. I have already done a video about a year or so ago, maybe more, on double stopping, but I thought I would just revisit that video, do another video, and perhaps, I don't know, just revisit and do another video on double stopping. Just to get on with it then, double stopping looks like this. So double stopping is where you're playing two notes at the same time on the violin. Hopefully you can see that, but this is a piece called Country Stroll. This is from the book that Simon and myself wrote. This is my new violin book actually, folks. I'm going to do a little bit of a plug. I wrote a book of 11 original violin melodies, and Simon put together 68 backing tracks. So there's three piano backing tracks per piece, one slow, one medium, one fast. So it's a really good book. I'll put a link of where to buy the book right underneath this video. So look in the description bar, not here, but look in the description bar underneath. It's £8 to buy, 100% downloadable, and $12. So anyway, this is Country Stroll out of that, and it looks like this. So if I played Country Stroll to you, then you'll know what I mean. Pizzicato double stop. Then you come to the bowing, and then it just carries on from there. So the pizzicato double stopping is you just look, don't be put off by double stopping. Just look at what note the top note is, look at what note the bottom note is, sort your fingers out on the violin. When you're doing pizzicato, you obviously can't pluck two strings at the same time. So I start with the lower string, or I pluck from left to right, so I pluck towards the right, and I just try and sort of hit them at more or less the same time as I possibly can. But it'll never be exactly, but you don't want one after the other, you want it sort of almost, but the first one is coming slightly before the second one. So as with double stopping with the bow, you need to play both strings equally at the same time. So that's what double stopping is. Sometimes you've got triple stopping or quadruple stopping. So triple stopping is where you've got three notes, quadruple. So where you're playing all strings at the same time, or you might be playing three strings at the same time, or only two strings or only two notes at the same time. If you're playing four notes, and there's generally one finger on every string, otherwise that wouldn't make sense. So double stopping, so you want to play both strings or both notes equally. I would suggest that you play with a flat bow. When I'm doing double stopping, I very rarely I play with the bow tilted, just because I get a more delicate and more controlled sound when I tilt the bow. But when I do double stopping, I will play flat bowed, because I'm not only am I trying to play two strings at the same time, but I'm trying to get the best possible sound. And the only way I'm going to do that and to hit the balance of the strings at the same time is to play with a flat bow rather than tilted. It's not too bad if you're playing double stopping where you've got, say, an open A string and you've got a finger 1, 2 or 3 or whatever on the string above it. So there, for example, I'm just playing an open A string and I've got my third finger on the E string for an A. That's not too bad, but when you start to introduce fingers that are on the neck, on the string below it as well, that gets a little bit more complicated. If you've got if you've got the string that's closest to the right, if you've got a higher finger number on the highest string and a lower finger number on the lowest string, then that's easy enough to do. When the fingers are the other way around, that's more complicated. So what I mean by that, for example, is say you've got a third finger on the E string and you've got a first finger on the A string. That's easy enough to do because the fingers are in a nice position. I know that doesn't sound very right because I know that doesn't sound very right. I know that doesn't sound right or very nice. That's what I was trying to say, because I know I haven't chosen very nice notes. But if I had the third finger or the second finger, whatever whatever I've got there, it doesn't really matter. That's not too bad. When they're the other way around, so let's say you've got a finger 1 on the A on the E string, and then you've got to hook over a finger 2 on the A string or the string below it. That's harder. And well, that doesn't actually sound too bad, but that means that for the second finger, you've got to try and get the second finger out of the way of the first finger. If the second finger's ever so slightly rolled over, then the string above it is going to get the sound of the second finger note because it's going to be interfering in there. So if your fingers are nicely sorted, so you've got a higher finger for the string closest to the right and a lower finger for the string closest to the left, or in other words, how your hand sits nicely, then that's not too bad. If they're the other way around, so you've got a finger 1 on the E string, whatever, and then you've got a finger 3, for example, on the A string, then yes, you're gonna have a bit of a problem. See, that's what I want. So I've got a 1 on the E string and I've got a 3 on the A string. So I want to play those together. But as you can see, I'm having to hook my fingers right the way over. If my third finger drags a little bit, then that's the sound I'm going to get because the third finger's now dragged over to the right, to the E string. So I have to lift, I have to really lift this one up. It doesn't matter about this one can hit the other string, but because this is hooking over, you almost have to position your hands and hook your finger over. I'm not gonna lie folks, it's really difficult to do, but I've spent many years now being able to do that. So when I do have to do that, you'll notice my hand and my finger will come right the way over and almost have to stretch itself in position. But that's just something that you have to do, and that's something that you have to learn. So it's double stopping is quite difficult, and it can be quite difficult if you've got an awkward double stopping, but you've just got to remember to lift those fingers round, lift them out of the way. It's a difficult movement to do. I have to consciously make myself do it. But it's a lot easier for me because I've been doing it for a long time now. So if you're struggling with it, then you are going to have to go through the same process. So it's not easy when the fingers are sort of twisted the other way around, if you like. So there you go, there's a few little hints and tips on double stopping. I hope that's helped, and I'm sorry for the person who did ask me to do this video. I can't remember your name, but I hope this answers the question for you. So thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.
Subscribe.